Welcome to the show. My guest tonight, Dempsey Bolton. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm an alternative pop artist, producer from Calgary, from here.
You've been putting out a lot of music, it feels like, recently.
Yeah. It's
How much have you put out in the last, let's say, year?
I think I've put out 12, 13 songs, maybe, something like that.
That's awesome. Do you feel like you're someone who is putting out songs or trying to build a body of work?
I think probably build a body of work. I mean, I'm just like, I've always been a really big believer in consistency and like hyper consistency. So I'm just trying to like build skills, I think, and like get really good at what I do. And I kind of have this theory that if you can like, you know, like be one of the best at what you do, like everything else will sort itself out.
Where do you feel like you're at in your music journey? Do you think you're still at the beginning or kind of breaking out now, or what stage do you think you're in?
That's a tough one. I think I'm probably like emerging. That's such like a weird loaded term. It's such a catch-all for like every single artist who's not like blown up, but like I feel like I'm still emerging. I mean, music in general or art in general, it's hard to quantify where you're at. You know, it's not like a job where you like get a promotion, now you're manager, or like you kind of have to set your own goals and your own expectations. So I was, so a roundabout way of saying I'm still at the beginning.
How much has your sound and everything changed since you first started?
I think it's changed a lot. Well, I mean, when I first started, I was just bad. I was just like bad at what I did. I would make bad songs and I'd make like bad productions to go with them. But I think like that's part of the process, is just like you have to make bad shit wherever. Can I swear on here?
Yeah.
Great. You have to make bad shit, whatever you're doing, in order to like get to the good stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's changed a lot. My influences have changed. I started out doing like singer-songwriter stuff.
Do you think you're are you in your mind working towards a sound that you have pictured, or are you just letting it come naturally?
That's a good question. I think I am working towards like a sound for sure, but it's kind of tricky when you like, for people who produce themselves, because like the possibilities are endless. Like you can do whatever you want. So it's like honing in on a sound has been really difficult. I've like kind of done like the big like 80s pop stuff, and I've gone like kind of alternative now, and like now I kind of want to swing back to indie, but then like it's hard to like market yourself when you do that, and it's hard to like tell the algorithm like, this is what I did, but now this is where I'm going, you know?
Yeah.
So
you do it all, right?
Yeah, I used to, the last album I mixed, but this next album coming up, I hand off the mixing, but I still do production and writing and, track everything.
Was it hard to let that go? Or
No,
was it nice?
It was so nice, dude. I was more than happy to let it go. Especially because like I got it mixed by Robbie Townsend. He's in Edmonton. He's great. And he, just like, simply put, he's just like better than I am at mixing. So I was happy to like learn from him and get the most out of what the project was.
Is there something that you find people misunderstand a lot about what you're trying to do?
Like the public might not have like the best idea of like how to actually make it in the music industry. Like not that I have any clue. But like I find like a lot of people will be like, oh, you should like go on the road and play a bunch of shows. And like, that's how you get discovered by A&Rs. And it's like, yeah, like, for sure. It's like now I feel like instead of one way to make it, which was like doing shows back like, the 80s and 90s, like now it's like there's so many ways you can go. You can go the radio route or the sync route, the publishing route, the label route. There's just like so many different avenues, and so it's hard to like pick one and focus. But
yeah, do you have a favorite and a least favorite of those?
The avenues?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're up to, I like making music, man. Like am happiest when I'm in my studio and producing and just like writing new songs. So yeah, I guess like streaming would be my forte because I just like making the music. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason I asked about people misunderstanding is because I know you had astrophysics. How far did you get in that?
I got my degree.
Master's?
No. No, I got what would it be? I got an undergrad. I guess it'd be like a bachelor in science or something.
So
bachelor in astrophysics.
Yeah, that seems like you were on a specific course and you really, they're not really connected, right? So
Not really.
I guess my question is, how did this happen?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I grew up playing violin.
Okay.
I went to a classical music elementary school, and I studied like violin for like 7 years. So I was like musical from like a young age. And then I got to high school and I just kind of didn't know what I wanted to do. So I like just went into university, thought I'd figure it out. I was in geology. I didn't like it. But the best part of geology was the space unit. So I was like, well, might as well go into astrophysics.
Might as well.
Yeah, you know, as one does. And yeah, I just ended up like really liking it and finding it kind of fascinating. But then by the time I was done, I was just like really itching to like write music and produce music. And that's all I could really think about. So I was just like on that path and I couldn't really ignore it anymore.
Yeah, I was going to ask what you did with your creative energy before you got into music, but it was music?
Yeah, like I still played guitar like all throughout university, even when I was like, you know, deep in finals mode or whatever. Yeah, there was never really a point in my life where I wasn't doing like something musical.
Yeah. Did you do musical theater too?
I did. So yeah, after my astrophysics degree, I went into a theater diploma at McEwen and did that for 2 years.
So do you think you are approaching music from kind of a different lens than a lot of other musicians you meet with the way you think about it?
Yeah, maybe. I've been told I'm analytical. So maybe. Yeah, I think if anything, like what I've learned is that like creativity and like analytics aren't like, they're not opposite ends of the spectrum. They can like coexist. So yeah, I think I've used part of that like training I had to help me in music. I also think like producing the music just changes the entire process because you get like very, very close to songs. And, you know, by the time I'm done a song, I'll have heard it like literally 1,000 times. So it changes the process a little bit. Like I have to take breaks. I have to take like, you know, context breaks for like a week, 2 weeks to kind of regain my perspective.
How did it end up as a career path more than just a hobby?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I was just like determined to make this like my job. And I moved here in 2020 because I got a studio at Neverland. It's a really cool artist initiative where they basically turn like an old hotel into like a bunch of artist spaces. So I just started like working as a producer first and then kind of doing my music like as my main thing, but like just producing enough to make, you know, pay the bills. And then at a certain point, I guess, you know, started building a team around me and yeah, now I'm here.
Did you feel at any point that you were having to choose between two identities, going the astrophysics way and the musician way, or was it more natural of fit?
I think it was like a hard pivot. Like I pretty much finished my degree and I was like, well, that was fun. I guess I'm like a musician now. So yeah, I just like went straight into writing and producing. Yeah. How
did you know that that astrophysics wasn't for you or some kind of science? Like
it's not that it wasn't for me. I don't know, maybe it was. I mean, I started getting like B's in my last year and I was like, okay, if I'm not like at the top of my class, like I'm supposed to get a PhD in this, like, come on. It's ridiculously competitive. You know, it's not unlike music. Like not a lot of people who set out to it actually get like tenured or like, you know. So I think more I was just like, well, they're both like, they're both going to be hard. So I might as well do the one I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still interested in it?
Yeah. I've been listening to Star Talk. It's Neil deGrasse Tyson's podcast.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I like listening to that. It's like cool to like refresh my brain a little bit on things I used to know and be like, oh yeah, I used to be smart. That's fun.
Just relax with a little bit of astrophysics.
Yeah, exactly. A little Merlot and just like, finally I can take a load off, talk about quantum physics.
Do you remember kind of a tipping point where you knew you weren't going back, or was it immediate?
I think I had like the idea that I was like, okay, I'll take like a year off and like I won't do my master's. And if I don't like what I'm doing, then I'll go back. And instead I like enrolled in a theater diploma. So I ended up like staying in that for 2 years. And then by the time I was out, I was like, yeah, no, I need to do music here and I need to like perform in some aspect, some fashion.
Do you remember the first moment where you knew it was real, some kind of success moment that you had?
I mean, the most recent one was I played a showcase in Toronto called the Come Together Showcase. It was like an industry showcase where like each province sends like one artist. And we played at the Drake, which is like this really cool underground venue in Toronto. And I did my showcase there and performed my set. And afterwards, like I was just like really, I don't know. I was really, I guess, yeah, surprised by how good the reception was by like all the industry people in the crowd. And so I kind of at that moment, I was like, oh, like, maybe I can do this. Like I can hang a little bit.
I saw that you won back-to-back. Was it Songs of the Year at the YYC Music Awards?
Pop Recording of the Year.
Pop Recording of the Year. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
What did those moments feel like, and how are the two of them different?
Well, both times I wasn't really expecting it. And so both times I didn't prepare anything. They were different in that the first time I think like my speech went pretty well, and the second time I was like kicking myself because it wasn't great. But we live and we learn. Next time I'll prepare a speech, and that'll probably be the time I don't win it. But I think the first time was like it was probably the first like award I'd won that like recognized my music, and so that was cool. The year after, I kind of was not really expecting again, but it was cool because my friend and fellow artist Zenon, who I produced for, they won R&B Single of the Year on a song that I produced. So I had like, kind of multiple sources of validation that like, okay, I'm like on the right track somewhat.
I was there and I didn't notice anything about your speech at all.
Good.
Yeah, I don't think anyone did.
Yeah, well, neither did I. I blacked out. It was all a blur.
When you were, I meant to ask you this earlier, but when you were switching, did you have anyone close to you saying maybe this isn't a good idea? Or
shit, I'm about to throw my aunt on the bus. Yeah, my aunt was like, I don't know about this. Like, maybe you should like stick with the safe option, astrophysics. Like, safe.
Yeah, you
People
can show
opinions.
what you've made now. And is her mind changed?
I think so.
Do you ever wave your awards at her? And
Yeah, just like adjust them a little bit. No, I think so. I think everybody's like, I've been lucky to have like really supportive people in my life who are like champions of what I'm doing and really, kind of there for me when I, am not as sure myself of what I'm doing. Yeah.
What was the biggest change in your life in the two fields? Maybe it's something mental. I don't know.
There's even like less structure, I think, now. Like university has like a little bit, at least, like you have deadlines and you have assignments and classes. And as much as like you need to do the work on your own time, like you do have those things to kind of keep on track. Like being an artist, you really don't have any structure. You have to make your own structure. So I think university actually prepared me in a way because all the skills I'd learned to like study on my own time and like make sure I'm prepared to like transfer over. So yeah, I guess in that way they're very similar. It's like, I'm my own boss. I put in as many hours as I want, and I kind of feel like I can never relax because you can always like do more,
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I'm actually really surprised to hear this. I would have thought, and I bet a lot of people think that they're total opposites. The analytic side and the creative side.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Like, physics is like a very creative science because you're essentially like drawing conclusions from math. So there's like a ton of problem solving, and it trains the same like critical thinking and like puzzle solving skills that you need in music. So I actually think they're like fairly similar. It's like you have a problem and you have to like effectively find a solution to something that you've never solved before. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that from I think it was Russell Broom. He was on my show and
nice.
he was talking about solving a problem with music. Did you think of any other, when you thought maybe astrophysics wasn't for you, but you liked music, did you think of anything else? I heard that you went to Australia for a while.
Yeah.
Were you going to do another kind of science or?
In Australia?
Yeah.
That was just like, that was like my coming of age moment, where I was like, honestly, this sounds like a fucking fever dream. I was surveying Eastern Australia for koala scat.
Oh.
We were looking for essentially their shit to see like signs of koalas in the area, because like in Western, at the time anyways, like so many koalas. But in Eastern, there were like 65. So we were trying to find out, like, track their migration patterns and like see. So we had this guy named Steve Allen who like was just like, you know, a real like, oh God, who's the crocodile?
Steve Irwin.
Thank you. The real Steve Irwin type. And he would just like reach down, pick up a piece of poo and just like smush it, smell it and be like, wallaby. And then you just like keep going. And we were like, what the fuck, man?
How did you get involved with that even?
It was like a volunteer program. So we stayed on like this farm that was like fully sustainable. We planted like 1,000 trees during the 2 weeks I was there. And then we also did the surveying. So yeah, it was just separate from really anything that I was doing at the time. But little 19-year-old me was like, oh my God, like there's a whole world out here.
Yeah, when I was looking at my notes, I was kind of laughing a little bit because it's like astrophysics, producer, musician, regenerative farming, and you know, this is a musical theater.
Yeah, not really an overlap on the Venn diagram, I guess.
So that's why I was asking if you thought of going other directions also.
Yeah, I think like well, I wanted to be a basketball player. Growing up. But I was, I was a foot too short and probably like 2,000% not athletic enough. But yeah, I was convinced. I was like, I'm going to be in the Euro League one day. You know, I was realistic enough to not shoot for the NBA, but somehow the Euro League was still like in my sights. So for the longest time, I just wanted to play basketball and that was it. But eventually I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm actually not good enough. So let's like find something that I maybe am good at.
So did you feel since you were younger that you don't mind the spotlight?
Actually, no. Like I'm fairly uncomfortable being like the center of attention in like any context where it's not expected. Like if somebody like plays my music at a party, like I need to leave. You know what I mean? Like I can't handle it. I literally, one time my friends and I we were staying at my grandpa's farm and kind of camping out. And they started playing my song and I just like started running away. Cause that's like, you know, I was feeling awkward and bashful and shy. And so I ended up like running straight into a pile of cinder blocks and I fucked my leg up so bad and I was just bleeding everywhere and everyone was like, dude, where did Dempsey go? And I was just lying on the ground like writhing in pain. So moral of the story, don't play my song at a party, please. I'll thank everyone not to do that.
Well, luckily you don't have to see this, but everyone watching, I'm going to cut to your video right now.
Oh, great.
Talk us into it. Which video are we going to show?
Yeah, so you're going to see a little song called Red, and it's the first single off my upcoming album, In the Presence of Giants, which will be out April 10th. So I'll be out by the time.
Yeah. Well, this episode is coming out on the 13th.
It's already out.
Yeah. So, yeah, 13th.
Cool.
Coming out on the 13th. So it'll have just come out. With this video, how did you come up with this concept? What went into this one?
My videographer Bomi, who's an insane creative. He's just so good at what he does. He was just like, why don't we just like shoot it in my bedroom and make it look like just like a total dump, and you'll just like go crazy. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Nice.
It's like a bottle episode, essentially.
Nice.
Yeah.
The first time I saw you was actually because of your video that I came across on Instagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Can't remember which one. You're in a car. You're driving in a car.
Sunrise.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's cut to break.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back. Enjoy the video.
Guess what it comes down to, so long as I stay for two. Yeah, as long as I stay for two. I wrote a song last night, penned it in hemoglobin red, kept me preoccupied from thinking how I want you. And it's the little things that keep my cool head. I wrote a song last night. I wrote a song last night. And it goes like,
Hey everyone, if you're new to the show, please subscribe on YouTube. Lots of listeners on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio. Keep subscribing there. Share it with someone. If you think it's a cool concept, share it with your friends. We want to keep it going. So yeah, thanks so much. Stay tuned for more Deets. And we're back. That video was awesome. I loved it. What does a typical session look like for you when you're working on music? How does that go?
Like for my own stuff?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like a lot of crying. I think it's like different every time. It's mostly me like just like working on a beat and trying to get inspiration. Like I feel like that's almost always what I'm chasing is just like inspiration, and I'm trying to like manufacture it in a certain way. I'm essentially like chasing flow state, I guess is one way you could put it. And so I usually spend like the first little bit just like getting a bunch of ideas out and like trying not to be too critical or think about it too much. And then the next, little bit, I'm just like, I try to build up like a beat, or I'm writing lyrics, or I'm singing. And yeah, it's kind of different every time, which is, I think, why I like it so much, because it's, there's no real structure.
Are you just plugged in for long sessions, or are you coming back to it in short bursts?
I think for the most part, I'm like working in like 3 hour to 4 hour increments. Very occasionally, like if I'm like really in it, I'll do like an 8 hour on something. But I find like I lose context if I spend too long on something. And that's why it's like really important to kind of work quickly, because like the longer you like hear something, the more it becomes cemented a little bit, and you hear it like as it is and not as it could be. So I really try to work fast. I try to work like big picture, and then you can always go back and like fine tune the details, but it's really hard to get that like initial inspiration back. And it's also why like on almost all my tracks, I'm using like the first vocal I recorded, the demo vocal, like of the first day. I very rarely like try to recut them. And when I do, it's like really difficult.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wanted to know how you decide something is worth finishing, because you kind of have a higher volume and maybe the luxury of being able to produce it yourself. Mm-hmm. How do you decide what gets cut and what you will pursue till it's finished? Do you know early or do you know late?
It depends. Like, it's funny. A lot of times I'll produce something and I'll be like, I'll leave being like, it's not that good. I probably won't work on that again. And then I'll come back and I'll be like, oh no, actually, like this is sick. Like I have to finish this. So it's hard to know early, like day of, but I think like just what excites me. Like if I listen to something after I've like made a demo of it and it's exciting to me, like I'll finish it. No questions asked.
Do you have some particular people that you run things through sometimes?
Yeah, for sure. My manager, Jess.
Shout out Jess.
Yeah, shout out Jess. She's the best. My partner, Kendra. I'll send things to her. I'll pull her out of bed at 10 p.m. and be like, "Okay, you got to come to the car. I'm so sorry. Like, we got to listen to this song." Those two people are probably like my two like main people I send music. Yeah.
Jess really champions you. She really likes your stuff.
Yeah, she's the best. I don't know. I got her fooled. What can I say?
Do you think artists that you meet don't put out enough music?
You're trying to get me in trouble.
Well, I see a lot. Some people will run with one song for a year. And I feel like you're doing almost the opposite.
Yeah, maybe to a fault. I think, here's the thing. Here's what I will say. I think running with one song for a year is great. Do it, but keep dropping. There's no shelf life on songs right now. Like TikTok has just like eliminated any kind of, oh, this song's old. Like, no, songs from 80s are making comebacks and people have never heard them. Like, there's so much potential to market to new people now, especially with like TikTok and Instagram Reels, that like you can push a song for a year and people are still like finding it. It's still new to people, but don't let that stop you from putting other songs out. Like, I think you should be like trying to find the song that brings people into your ecosystem and so that they discover all the other songs, right? You double down on the one that's doing the best so that they can discover the other ones. So that's kind of my thesis. I mean, if I could, I would drop a song every 2 weeks, but the admin part of it is a lot.
I was going to say, what part of the process slows you down the most? Yeah.
The admin work for sure. Like writing press releases, pitching it to distribution, sending out email blasts, making sure like I have my lyrics, making sure I have my lyrics in a PDF, my artwork in a proper folder and putting them in Dropbox. Like it's all these like, it's all the little minutia of things that just like add up for every release that turns into like, 10 to 20 hours every single release that I just, not really gaining anything off of. Like there's no skills being gained here. It's just, things that like kind of necessary evils that you have to go through to send out.
I relate to that so hard.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Did you find a framework for that and study it, or did you just learn it as you went?
For like marketing?
Yeah.
I think maybe a little bit of both. I try to take inspiration from people who are doing well. Yeah, what's that one line? Good artists borrow, great artists steal. Is that what it is?
I've heard that.
Something like that. I'm sure I butchered it. I think like taking inspiration from what's working for other people is like a great way to do things. I mean, like essentially that's how I learned guitar, was just like learning covers of other songs that I liked, and that gave me like the skills to make my own songs. So I think taking frameworks from people who are crushing it. You see it all the time on TikTok, like artists just like I can't even count the number of times I've seen an artist post like, if you're hearing this, you have elite taste or like elite ears, and but it's because there's just like so many people on the market that it's just like new to almost everyone, Did
you get any inspirations or influence from any other industries, not music?
That's an interesting question. God, I feel like probably.
I meet a lot of musicians and then also actors and other creative industries. And I see a lot of overlap that maybe they don't always see. So I think I want to get people together and see where the ideas overlap and how they can help each other. So that's why I was wondering that.
Yeah, I think like arts in general have a lot of overlap, from like actors to musicians to painters, sculptors, whatever. Where I took the most inspiration from, and it's not in a different medium, but it is like a different genre, I guess, is Russ. I mean, like he's like the king of independent artists. He like dropped a song a week for 52 weeks. Or was it? It might have been like 100 weeks or something. He put out like 100 songs in less than 2 years. It's insane level of consistency. So that's like what I've always strived for, is to be that consistent and to build my skills to a point where I'm not like sacrificing anything by putting music out that frequently. I'm just like really fast because I've done this so many times. And it's still what I'm working towards, actually.
In your music, is there any influences from other genres that might surprise people?
Oh yeah. I'm a metalhead.
Really?
I listened to metal like exclusively for like the first 18 years of my life.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think like I learned a lot about like structure and melody from like listening to metal.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would have never thought.
Yeah.
Is there something now that you're a little more experienced that you've cut out of your music?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is vocal recording. Like I've just like learned how to shape my vowels and deliver lines in a way that is believable. Like when I listen to my old songs, it's just like the vocals like drive me crazy. So I think that's the biggest thing I've like learned to kind of figure out nuance in vocal performance, essentially, and how to make it like interesting to listen to.
Is there something that you hear now when you're listening to music, like on the radio or whatever, that you notice more and you feel like you would want to do differently?
Oh, then like...
Yeah, now that you've learned how to do it yourself, is listening to music different?
Yeah, listening to music's very different. It's because it's like work now. I have like a lot of trouble like turning off that side of my brain. So like that's one of the reasons I love listening to metal still, is because like it's the only thing I can listen to where like I'm not analyzing it. Everything else I'm listening for what they're doing in the mix. I'm listening for like how they're writing, how they're shaping their melodies. Does that apply to me? Like how can I take from this? And so it's made it so that I can only enjoy music at like very certain times, like in the same way I used to. But there's still songs that I listen to where I'm like, oh my God, like that's insane. And that, you know, it's just, now it's like a different appreciation for things, like more subtle things that I never would have noticed before. I'm like, that's crazy how they did that.
What do you think you have the most dialed in now?
Oh, that's a good question. I think probably it's tough, man, because I go back and forth. I always think I need like everything needs more work, but I would say like my production probably. I feel like I've gotten the most dialed in. I've been like pumping out productions lately that I'm like really proud of and I think are like quite interesting and different. Yeah.
Let's tell everyone about your new album.
Oh, sure.
What's it called and what feels different about this one compared to the last one, or the last everything you've done?
Yeah, fair. The new album is called In the Presence of Giants. It's a very like distorted, like brash, like in your face kind of production style. And it's a lot darker than the stuff I was doing in the last album. It's cool. It's kind of like, I took a lot of inspiration from Maxime, who's like my favorite producer in the world. He's out in Montreal and he just has like really interesting like sound design. And so I took a lot of inspiration from that. I just wanted to like bring in a ton of distortion and see how far I could push some things until they kind of broke. But yeah, I mean the title track Giants is, I wrote about stars and like kind of like, you know, my experience with stars and you know, I spent like a summer like programming a telescope in Athabasca. And so I kind of just wrote about how I find thinking about the universe and how big it is really comforting, because I I don't know. It's kind of nice to think that like we're so insignificant and these like tiny little problems I'm like sweating so much over are really just like so, like the universe is so indifferent to them. And so that like, it's funny. I tell people that and they're like, oh my God, that makes me so anxious to think about how big the universe is. But I think that's so comforting because it just takes all the pressure off. Yeah.
I didn't mean to laugh when you were saying that. It was just
Oh,
like
no.
another curveball of another crazy thing you were up to. You were programming telescopes?
Yeah. So we like, me and Professor Martin Connors, we were doing like simulations on like Trojan asteroids, which are like asteroids that will like never hit a certain planet because they share like resonances with them. So like every time Mars orbits the sun 3 times, this asteroid orbits 5, for example. And so we were looking for those, but then we kind of shifted and we were using like a DSLR camera and we were trying to find out if we could just discover new stars with just
Based
a camera.
on asteroids?
What's that?
Based on asteroids?
No, this is separate.
Okay.
No, just based on, there's like these things called like Cepheids, where there's stars that like kind of pulsate. They have like a set duration of time where they change how bright they are. And so we were trying to find them using a DSLR camera.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are some other stories of the songs on this album?
Well, one of my favorites on the album is called Time, and it's like a little folky, bluesy. It's very different from anything I've done, which is kind of why I like it. And I just wrote it about. I think about all the hours I've spent investing into music quite often, and I think sometimes I'm like almost like forlorn and like like in mourning, like just wondering like did I waste this time that I could have been spending with my family and my friends and like, you know, having actual experiences. Instead, I'm just like alone in my studio or like alone at a cafe doing admin work. I just like, I wonder if it was a waste of time. And in doing that, I also kind of put pressure on it to like, quote unquote, make it. Because then if I don't make it, like, well, fuck, I just like, what have I been doing for the past 10 years? You know? So I wrote that entire song about just that feeling of, I really need to make this work because otherwise, like, what have I done? I've squandered like my 20s.
I loved this album, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man.
Really good. And I feel like every song I was kind of surprised all over again. It's not like the same vibe in every song. What do you want people to experience when they hear this? Do you want it to be an individual track experience or a full album experience?
I would love for it to be a full album experience. I mean, I feel like the way music has gone with the onset of Spotify is that Spotify has like created a song ecosystem in their push to playlists, in their like formatting of the artist page where like singles are displayed first and you have to go into the discography to find albums. All these subtle things have been like conditioning listeners to only know songs and not really know artists and by that token know albums. So it's part of the reason I find albums so intriguing now is because like everything's so song based. So I would love for people to like listen through to the full album and kind of, you know, get immersed in the kind of vibe I was going for, because I think that's like a little bit of a lost art right now.
I agree. What emotions do you want them to feel? What kind of journey do you want them to go on with this one?
If anything, I just want like people to find some sort of like presence and escape from it. Like that's the thing I get from music is it's like a little bit of an escape, and it helps me be present. And so that's kind of all I could ever ask of anything from my music is just to, you know, help people through whatever they're dealing with and help them, you know, be a little bit more present.
Could you give advice to someone who, let's say, wanted to pivot and do what you're doing, basically, deciding whether to go all in on a creative thing or anything, but for music, let's say?
Yeah, don't do it. I think the advice I would give is if you picture yourself in 10 years being exactly the same place you are now, still doing the art that you're doing, and that isn't good enough for you, like don't do it. Because like the doing of the art has to sustain you, because it's just like it's such a tough industry, and it's such a long game, like it's a marathon. And so like if you can't handle not making it for 5-10 years, like you need to be sustained on the art. That would be my advice. And just like, and hold on to the fun of it, because like it's really easy to get caught up in like, how do I make a hit? How do I make the song that's going to blow me up or get me like 10 million streams? Or how do I get signed to a label? It's like so tempting and so easy to get wrapped up in that like, I feel like the fun can vanish from it so fast. But I'm a big believer that if you can find the fun in whatever you're doing, like the success will follow.
Let's say you're back here in a year, 2 years, something like that. Where do you want to be at? And what do you hope this album does?
I hope, that's a good question. I mean, I definitely have like 2-year goals. Like I would love to get nominated for a Juno, build up my team a little bit. But I guess like realistically, all I could ask is that in a couple of years, I've continued to be able to just, exist and live off of the music I'm making, and I'm still having fun doing it. And really like the mark of any album success I want is that like the album I made today is better than the one I made last year. So
you'll probably have a couple out by then.
I'm sure I'll have a few more. Yeah.
That's all I have for questions. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I mean, yeah, thanks for having me. Stream In the Presence of Giants out now on, wherever you get your stuff.
It's really good. And check you out on Instagram. What else are you on?
TikTok, YouTube, I'm on that, wherever really. That one street corner in Inglewood, you can probably find me.
I'll link everything.
Yeah.
I'll link everything for you.
Cool.
Thanks so much for coming.
Of course.
That's it.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.